Hey everybody, my name is Spencer, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to play Look at the Stars, published by Pandasaurus Games, who has partnered with us at Game Nerdz to bring you this tutorial. In Look at the Stars, 2 to 8 players will observe the stars in the night sky and draw what they see before the sun rises and the night disappears. Whoever can draw the biggest variety of constellations, planets, and shooting stars on their night skyboard by the end of the night will win the game. I'll get into the specifics of playing in just a bit, but first, let's take a look at the setup. You'll begin by giving each player a different night skyboard and a marker. Now, these boards do have unique starting lines on them, but no board is better than another, so it doesn't matter who gets which board. These are the night cards. Shuffle them, create 3 decks of 6 cards each, and place them face down in a line. Return the leftover night cards to the box. Now, there are 2 types of bonus cards, the Twinkling Stars and Novas. You'll play with one of each of these, and the rulebook recommends these 2 for your first game. In follow-up games, you'll shuffle each type separately, reveal one of each, and put the remaining cards in the box. With those 3 steps complete, setup is over, and you're ready to play. A game of Look at the Stars lasts 3 rounds, each of which is made up of 6 turns. After 18 total turns, the player with the most victory points wins. You'll earn points based on the number of lines in your constellations. Larger constellations earn you more points, but you cannot score more than 1 constellation with the same number of lines. I'll get into the finer details of scoring soon, but first, here's what a turn looks like. On a turn, any player flips over the top night card of the first available deck. After the first deck has been depleted, you'll move on to the second and then the third. It doesn't matter who flips the card because all players use the same card for that turn. Once the card is revealed, all players simultaneously draw lines on their night skyboard, matching the lines on the card. Now, really quickly, I want to point out that these are wet erase markers. So if you ever need to erase due to a mistake or clean up at the end of the game, just add a little moisture to the included wipes. Now to explain the rules of drawing. Let's take a look at a few examples here. Players must copy the shape formed by the 2 lines on the night card onto their board, following these rules. First, a line must always connect 2 adjacent stars orthogonally or diagonally. All of these lines are legal, but this one is not. Second, a night card can be drawn on your board in any direction, but never as a reversed or mirrored image. I can rotate the shape on this card and draw it in 4 possible ways. As it was revealed, and then like this, and this. However, I cannot draw it like this because that would be a reversed or mirrored version of the shape. Third, 2 lines may intersect. Fourth, multiple lines can share the same star. Fifth, lines cannot overlap. Sixth, a line can never touch a planet, shooting star, or another object other than a line or star. And finally, a player can always choose to skip a night card and not draw those lines, but they can't choose to draw only one of the 2 lines on the card. As you play, the sun will slowly rise and your available space to draw shrinks. After players complete the turn for the 6th card of the first deck, the first card of the second deck is drawn. At this point, you may no longer use the bottom rows of the night skyboard for drawing. These arrows on the edges of the board indicate the new boundary. When you begin drawing from the 3rd deck of cards after the 2nd one is run out, 2 more lines are unavailable for use, and your new boundary is indicated by these arrows. So, for the final 6 turns of the game, you may only draw above this line. Let's talk about shooting stars. If a shooting star is revealed, you don't have to draw it, just like any other card. However, if you do draw it diagonally 1, 2, or 3 line segments long. Note that a shooting star can never touch a star that's already been used. In other words, a shooting star must stand alone on its own and be unconnected from other lines. For example, this draw wouldn't be possible, but this is a legal drawing. Having covered that, we can now move on to the end of the game. Remember, this happens when the 3rd deck has run out of cards. At this point, all players will calculate their scores at the bottom of their boards for 5 different categories. First up, constellations. Now, these are sets of connected lines that intersect or share a star. Constellations must have a minimum of 3 lines and a maximum of 8. Also, shooting stars are not constellations. For each constellation, a player earns a number of points equal to the lines in that constellation. However, if you have multiple constellations with the same number of lines, only one of them can be counted in the score. This means that it's possible to earn up to a maximum of 33 points if all 6 possible constellations, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, are drawn. In this example, these 2 line groups don't count because they contain less than 3 lines. This constellation gives me 3 points. These 2 constellations contain 4 lines, so I can only count one of them. The same goes for both 5-lined constellations. So by adding 3, 4, 5, and 6, my total for this category is 18. Next up, planets. Review each planet and count up how many constellations are directly adjacent to them. You may count multiple constellations that have the same number of lines in them. Gain 1 point for each diagonal or orthogonal adjacent constellation. In my case, this planet has 3 adjacent constellations, this planet has 2, and this planet has none, for a total of 5 points. Moving on, each shooting star awards 1 point for each line in it. I have 1 shooting star with 2 lines in it, so I get 2 points. The last 2 scoring sections involve any relevant bonuses from Twinkling and Nova bonus cards. Twinkling bonuses give you the printed amount of points each time you have created that shape somewhere in your sky, even if it's part of a constellation. I have this bear shape here, so I gain its 3 points. If I had drawn another line on this constellation during the game, I would have earned another 3 points. Nova bonus cards work a little bit differently. Rather than giving you points at the end of the game, Novas grant you an optional immediate bonus when you match the shape of their card. Instead of a point value, Nova cards have a symbol that represents their bonus. You must activate the bonus immediately if you choose to receive it. In the case of the Nova card we used, you may draw a single line between 2 adjacent stars if you make this diagonal line of 3 segments. The planet symbol allows you to draw a new planet on an unused star that no line or object touches. The 2-star symbol lets you draw 2 new stars in a space that does not contain any stars, as long as you respect the star grid. Here's an example of what that would look like. These new stars may be used to draw lines on future turns. The galaxy symbol lets you draw a galaxy that covers 2 unused stars that are horizontally adjacent. The galaxy must be adjacent to the constellation that earned the bonus. A galaxy earns you 2 victory points at the end of the game, which you would record at the bottom of your board. Keep in mind that the same line can be used to get the Twinkling bonus and the Nova bonus, but cannot be used to get the same bonus more than once. However, unless otherwise stated, a bonus may be earned more than once as long as you use different lines. Now, there are 5 more bonus types available, but I'm not going to explain them all. Just refer to the rule book if you choose to include them. Once all 5 categories have been scored, each player adds their points together, and the player with the highest score wins. If there's a tie, all tied players win. And now you're ready to play Look at the Stars. If you have any questions about anything I covered here, please leave me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you found this video helpful, consider giving it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the Game Nerdz YouTube channel. Once again, my name is Spencer, and I want to thank you so much for watching.